Could put carrots in there, but it's going to be very tight. Hello everybody, welcome back to Court Farms. I'm just trying to work out where I'm going to put all of them. Somewhere with easier access might be a better idea. Well, I mean, we have got this is empty. Yeah, maybe actually. I wonder if we could get the beetroot at one end. Oh, I know what we might be able to do actually. Not for now anyway, we've got to crack on because it's the end of September. The mechanic has been in and has been fixing both of these up, which has cost us quite a bit of money. We've done a cracked out off camera the baling of this tiny field that we've got, and what else did I do? There was a cultivating contract and a, there it is, cultivating contract and a what do you call it? Oh, canola harvest. A couple of canola harvests just to essentially to get the money in to pay for the repairs of the tractors. And first things yesterday evening, the land agent, oh, there's the ignition key on that pillar there. Interesting. Very interesting. The land agent rang us up. The sale of both of our other fields, the one at the top, our start off field, and the yard that, well, the yard, the contractor yard's gone, but the small yard at the very top, basically the two fields that we had are beat in. They have now sold. Is that set for mulching or mowing? Sort of guess there's only one way to find out. We're going to be doing some mega mowing today. That's mowing. Good stuff. Interestingly, now we've, oh, it's gone up even further because we've sold our land. Our environmental score has rocketed because we've only got these really. What is that? Is that that? It's got to be that. Yeah, that's that little tiny bit which I'm not sure we're gonna be. That's great after that. So well, I forgot to move those bales. It's a shame this doesn't drop swath, but There's only 2 of these, so should we? Yeah, let's just push them off. Beer eat, wouldn't it? Up you go. Off you go then. Where you go? Batwing's playing it now. So we're gonna cut our grasses here. Early enough to wake all these campers up, isn't it? Quite a few tenters on the go. We'll tour around Somerset, I think, with these people travelling this part of the beautiful English countryside. So yeah, essentially my target combined between all 3 farms is to see if we can hit 500,000 litres, which is a big ask, but I think it can be done. I'm incredibly confident. And I am also considering selling the Land Rover. Which is a shame, but it depends how much it's worth. We don't... Oh, you can use it for pulling trailers, I suppose. It's not that useful for us if it is worth, you know, if it's worth 30 grand, that's money we could be investing elsewhere. There is like a little transit van that's quite cheap, and it came up on the mod hub and then it disappeared off the mod hub, and now it's back on the mod hub. Only thing is, it's a left-hand drive, so that means we're basically going to have an imported vehicle, but I do like the idea of having a little, because it would be easy just to run about, pick stuff up. You know, you run into the shop to get stuff to pay for people. Hopefully it'll have a tow bar on it as well, and pull a trailer, but we're collecting bits and bobs. I think it might be a little bit more useful, because if that the modder that makes the Landy has done such a good job of it. They also do the Santana, which is obviously the older version of the Landy, but you can at least put a couple of items in the back of that. I suppose maybe we could just go down the route of a vintage Landy, but then that's something I'd rather have Valley Spring. Although I could put the diesel transit on Valley Spring, same sort of timeline for it, I suppose. I'll have a think about it while Obviously we need to move the carrots and the beet, but they're going to be ready to sell in a couple of months, so we don't need to be tucking them away too far. We also need to sort out what to do with Court Farms root vegetables, because again they're going to be ready to sell soon. We'll be getting a better price on them. That field I'm going to have to do with the little ride on, because getting in and out of that gate is going to be a pain. And then I did mention about last episode about the potential of making this just sticking a shed on here. And I've got a question for you all, because do you think we should possibly go down the route of productions? And I mean productions as in taking products and making them into more sort of large scale production sort of thing, flour, sugar, oils, things like that? Or should we just stick to traditional farming? We're going to have some sort of productions, like the, if we're Court Farm making decent milk, it might be wise to stick a little dairy in, so they start making their own cheese and your little sort of cottage industry style stuff. I'm also tempted with all the root crops and that, maybe if we can get a pig food mixer. I could do with a TMR mixer as well, actually. I'm saying this like we're absolutely loaded, but we've got how much debt are we sitting on now? Those fields have been sold. We're still sitting on 100 grand of debt, so we are by no means flush. Big 200 horsepower. In fact, I think it goes up to 300 horsepower. Yeah, the 8S has come up in the sale for 100 grand. And we've just bought the Deutz farm. Gone and bought the Deutz farm. Well, I like the Deutz farm, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Right. We'll start up at... Oops. Start up at home farm and work our way back, shall we? There's actually a lot to get done in this episode, so I shall skip forward for you and check in with you again shortly. A bit of manure. Why are we not getting the food up? Come on, there we go. 8 cows, health's good, got plenty of food. They're all beefers, so that's the issue. It's going to be a while before you get any money back on that. pit's not too bad, is it? 14,000 litres. I need to check the precision farming on the other farm, because I've got a feeling the nitrogen levels are dropping as we're harvesting this grass. Now I thought if you rolled it, I think that's dropped, and that's dropped, and that. I thought if you rolled it or mulched it, you got nitrogen back into it, and grass doesn't need a lot of nitrogen, but we might have to start fertilising the grass. Let's check how much. $114,000 litres. Okay. So I've only got the one pit. I'm going to have to check the mulching once everything's finished. I'll keep an eye on Court Farms, and we need to find out what to do with all that silage. Do they want us to sell it, or do we move it? If we move it, where can we move it to without it bleeding through? I suppose we could just try and put it in the shed next to it. Or just sell it. We haven't really got the time to sell it. I wanted to get everything done in and packed. If we're moving it, we may as well sell it. I better switch to Court. So we'll go and do their fields, and let's have a quick look at their 64. It's that field that gets done. See, that's full 84. So if that has a sudden drop, and then there's this field which has got no nitrogen in it. So we've got these two that need cutting. Tricky one. Tricky, tricky, tricky. I would have thought, which you don't, I suppose you could. Go down there, can't we? There's so much to get done. I mean, we're nearly at October. We're going to need to start prepping these fields, potentially deciding what they want. There's that entrance. Deciding what they want doing. Getting these ready for the next season. Yeah, it's that behemoth of a... Oh, that was the behemoth. This one was just forever and a day. What would... I suppose we're going to have to mulch or roll anyway. We can switch this to a mulcher, because we can mulch the fields anyway at some point. Let's see what this does to the map. So we can mulch anyway, but I might need to get a roller out on it. Mulching might not do any. Maybe you mulch on your own, it'll help the nitrogen, but it still might need fertiliser putting on it. $14,000 litres isn't going to do any of their fields really. I did want to do arable crop, was going to be getting slurry or manure on it. Might have to look into. I have to watch some videos again on the precision farming. I'm sure that it potentially should have had a bit of an update really, because it's not. I think it's a little bit inaccurate for certain areas. I would have expected something to have updated it. Doesn't necessarily work as well as it should do. Or the one that was made by FS19. Realismus and Moddings one was a much better version. Anyway, the battling's doing the job well, because it's nice and early yet. We'll have all the mowing done by lunchtime-ish, I no doubt. This field might actually need ploughing up to get all the stones off it as well. But I'm sure I've done that. I didn't get the stones up, but we've got this. Oh yeah, they said not to do it at the minute, didn't they? I was going to do it last time. They said don't do it at the minute. Wait till winter time. Yes, I do remember that conversation with them. That happened in my mind. Right, okay, I'll carry on. I am glad that I made this into a grass field. However, I do think I might now turn it into a yard, because it's handy for a bit of grass, but it's also not big enough for grass, not for winter having anyway. I suppose I should have used that smaller mower on it, but if we get some money I might gravel or concrete it. That's not going to be very easy to pick up. That's all of that done. All the mowing has been done. We've had a bit of lunch. It's windrow o'clock. Where should we start? This has come out quite nice. It has reduced the nitrogen on all the fields though, so I might need to do a test on. Let's get to home farm first. I might need to do a bit of a test at some point on mulching, rolling, and then we might have to put fertiliser on as well. But that'll be for a later date. We're not going to have the time to do that now. I think we're going to be pushing at least daylight to be getting everything done. Should have probably started at 6 AM, but it would have still been a bit dark. For some reason in Somerset, it's quite dark at that time of the morning in September. Start with the sheep's, the outskirts of the sheep's pasture. That pit. Oh, I still need to move all those bales as well. I've spoken to Home Farm, and they said if it needs to be sold, it can be sold, but they're not massively bothered about getting the money in at the minute. As you could probably tell, there's about 9,500 grand in their account because for some reason they're loaded. So what I'm gonna try, I don't know if it'll work or not, so again another test. I do like doing these tests, don't I? I'm gonna see if we can just add the grass to it. I'll try with a small amount to start with. Ooh yeah. Crikey, that's tight. I used one of these before though, I'm sure. Not this one, because this is the one that we bought, but yeah, I'm going to attempt to see with a small amount if we can add it to it and then just build it up. Come on. Come on. That's it. The dog pops up thinking I'm talking to him. So yeah, I'll try a little bit in. If it works, then we can just add to it, and then they'll have a huge amount in. I just need to make sure I quickly write down the amount that's in there for our numbers. Right, I'll catch up with you in a bit because I've got no option but to drive through the sheep, and it doesn't look very good. Well, it's getting pretty dark. We're into the evening sun. And we're only just getting up. This is the end of the windrowing, and it's just a case of picking everything up, but it's certainly going to be possibly a late finish. Will I have to go into the next day? Probably. I think it might be possible. Although I'll try to get as much done as possible. This, yeah, I'll have to try and get as much done tonight as possible, even if I have to finish it in the daylight in the morning. If we had started early at like 6 o'clock, this would have been it probably still run into the night because we've got a hell of a lot to pick up, and I might have to move all of that silage at Home Farm. Tricky one, that. But it's a good little test to see if you can just top it up. obviously then if not, I'm going to have to make the decision of sell it now, or so we're going to be moving it. I might just sell it because it's the evening and then we can crack on moving it, I suppose, in the morning. It might not be too bad a thing. Go on, get all of that in one row. And just pull it in a bit. Right, I'll get up to the end of here and then take this back, give it a wash off. Suppose we'll be bringing out the John Deere to do that. That'll the John Deere and the pickup wagon's going to earn Court Farm a little bit of money. That's going to be handy for them. I have no idea how much I'm charging them all for this, but I'm sure I'll make them a good price. Oop. Bit of a tree there. $43 hours on this, not far until this will be worthless, but it's a good sized tractor, so it's the perfect sized tractor that we can use for pootling around. And I don't think it'd be too expensive to keep repairing, or to be fair, if we get to a point where it's just pootling around the farm, it doesn't really need to be repaired. Oh, didn't need to do that. I can leave that on for a minute because we're going to be moving it all. I think we'll put our silage into our silage pit. Seems we've got one. Seven grand, absolute bargain. Right, we find somewhere to put. Now I'm gonna have an issue, aren't I? Because bringing in the silage in the wagon, I've got a load of beetroot in the way. So I'm going to have to come around the beetroot down there. And I'll leave that there for now. Right, let's get back up to Court Farm and switch tractors. Yep. I'd say it was all going so well, but I don't think it is. It's very early in the morning. Look at that sky though. It's still dark, but look at that dramatic skyline coming up. We couldn't add fresh grass / chaff to the pit, so I decided just to sell it from. The price is pretty good at the minute. They're going to get I see about 20 grand for that, 115,000 litres. And that's just one cut, so that's not too bad for them, is it? Look like one field. Well, I suppose it's nearer 2 fields. Should I have used some for the cars? They might need a bail off us, but they've already paid Court Farm a couple of grand for using this for equipment for selling the silage and then now what he's going to be collecting the grass to make more silage. Yeah, made pretty much 20 grand profit on that, so. Look at that. Look at that sky, beautiful. And we're now into October. So I literally, within a few minutes of the last scene that I'd recorded, it's it just gets so dark you can't see anything, so there's no point doing any work in the dark. Even with the lights on, you can't see properly. Tricky corner, this. Ooh. Very tricky corner. But it's about 170 a litre and 173 a litre for them there. Potential for it to go up another 15 or 17 quid, but are they going to have another cut ready to go in, to be fair? By that point they've only got the one clamp, so I did originally start moving it with the skid steer loader into another shed, and then I just realised that it was just going to take me forever, essentially. Right, let's get linseed. When's linseed good, sis? I won't check. Let's crack on with the job in hand. Pull this out of the way. So we've got a good clear area. I suppose we could have just pop it on the ground and let this pump it in. Should we do that? Just give it a go. Why not? Why not? Yeah, let's live fast and die young. Why not? Who cares? We can just drive straight through, ditch it, pop it in. I even think we can probably leave the Massey there. Plenty of room to drive around there, isn't there? We'll find out. Running a little bit tight on the old time, so I'll put this on a nice, enjoyable speed up. And you can watch the sunrise come up really quickly. Like threading the eye of a needle. So, the point where the music finished was just as the game crashed, so I had to go back and do everything from the night before, all of the selling, picking up of both fields. Is that full? No. I don't know if it's all going to fit. God. That's not going to work, is it? I'll proper look at it. Whoa. That's got loads in it. 200,000 litres. I've got an idea. This must be like 350,000 litre capacity. Gotta be. I've got an idea, boys. What I'm going to do is I've got silage bales. I'll collect their silage, their grass. That's the bitches, huh? I'll collect their grass, put it in my clamp, but I'll switch it, I'll swap it out for silage and bring the bales up here to keep it balanced. So that way I won't get mixed up. I don't want to end up sitting there going, well, they're owed 50,000 litres from our clamp. That will make sense. We're on some big numbers of silage though. Big numbers. This field, considering, well, it's not a small field, but I'm glad we ploughed it up and then turned it into a meadow, because it's yielded really well. The dogs come out to give us a hand, which is nice of him. Right, I'll crack on with this and I'll come back to you and give you an update when we're at the end, pretty much. Okie dokie, we are close to the edge. That little field just over past the bungalow, that it's horrible to collect the grass off with this, just too big. But I am seriously considering making it into a yard for now, and then when we've got some money, putting a shed or something. Just missed some, haven't we? Yes, we did. I'm a little bit concerned that this John Deere already needs repairing. I know it's done a lot of work today, but today on this episode. But now that's nearly at 50 hours itself. So that's cheaper than the one that was there the other day, but you're only 6.5 hours off that being worth nothing and needing repairing all the time as well. Alright, let's get this dropped. We are going to have to go through here, but if we're nice and careful. This field I'm not going to put into silage. I'm going to pop it in our compost heap, because I can use the small tractor to get in on that. I've got plans for that area as well, actually. I think maybe we'll have to see. Next episode, hopefully there should be, although we need to get money in, don't we? 55,000 litres we have to bring over, so that's quite a few of our bales we'll have to take back over to court, but it's not really going to matter because we're just having it in our pit here. This, yes, there we go. So we round that up or down. Ooh, can we sneak in through that way? I need to get a bucket for my telehandler, but the one I want is just so expensive. I suppose we do sort of need it though. It's got all the stones to move as well. I'm just doing some quick maths, bear with me. Wow. So I'm going to round it up slightly by 2,000 or 3,000 because I've just had to use memory as to how many litres of silage has just been taken up. But between the three farms there's a grand total of 650,000 litres. That's way more than I was expecting. Way more. Ridiculously more. And the grass has just started growing back, which might suggest we could get another cut in. However, See, we've got the overflow here, which wouldn't have been counted. However, it might not grow back before the end of the year, but there is a small chance if we can catch it at the end of November, we could do another cheeky little cut before winter kicks in. I don't know where we're going to store it, but let's get these washed off, and then we'll have to have a check to see how much the mechanic's going to charge them to get these serviced. I need to open the door, don't I? Can't back it in with the door shut. But that pretty much brings us towards the end of this episode. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please consider dropping in a like, hitting the thumbs up, and if you've not subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you've any thing you'd like to see on the series going forwards, feel free to pop it in the comment section below. And until next time, thanks for watching. Oh. The John Deere's not done too bad, actually. It's that. And they don't need to fix that yet. So we'll leave that where it is, because their money can be used better elsewhere. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'll get these all pummeled down and covered over so they can start fermenting. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye for now.